Hi everybody from TechnoLost, so welcome to this video comparison between the HTC One and the HTC Butterfly S. We have here the version of the Butterfly S is E901S, which is the international version, or better the Asian version, which is at least compatible with the LTE frequencies here in Italy and in other European countries. So many of you asked me for this comparison video between these two great devices. I wasn't too mind whether to do it or not because I don't have that much free time right now, but after all, these two really great devices deserve such a comparison. So let's start. Here we have the HTC One and the HTC Butterfly S. The first things that you may notice, of course, is the difference in terms of size, and that's this is so easy to notice that there's nothing to say about it. Just let me tell you the precise size of these devices. We have the Butterfly S here, which is 144.5 millimeters tall. It's 17.5 millimeters wide, and it's 10.6 millimeter thick. The weight of this device is 160 grams. Here we have the HTC One. The size of the HTC One is 137.4 millimeters for 68.2 millimeters wide, and it's 9.3 millimeters thick. So just let's put them together and let me show you the difference. Here you may notice that the Butterfly S is a little bit more than 7 millimeters tall. To be more precise, is 7.1 millimeters tall, and it's even a little bit wider than the HTC One. To be more precise, it's just about 2.3 millimeters wide. Then we have the thickness of these devices. The HTC One is just maybe a little bit more, 1.1 millimeters narrower than the thinner than the HTC Butterfly S. For what concerns the weight, the HTC One weighed 143 grams, and we have 160 grams here for the Butterfly S. If you hold these two devices in your hand, of course you have a much better feeling with the HTC One, given the fact that we have so premium materials. Here we have aluminum back, very nice, while we have here nothing but polycarbonate. So I mean, it's not bad, the Butterfly S, but given the materials used into this HTC One, we have such a better feeling. Of course, if you used to carry your devices all day long with a cover like maybe a TPU cover or a silicone cover, you won't feel any kind of difference between the aluminum unibody design and this polycarbonate unibody design. But if you don't use covers, then there's so much difference between using premium materials or just polycarbonate. Although of course we have a very good, I mean, the HTC Butterfly S, it's very well assembled. We don't have any kind of problem or crack, of course, but aluminum has of course a different feeling. For what concerns the weight, there's not that much difference. Of course, the sides may be, in terms of size, we have more than 7 millimeters tall. So for some of you, having a smaller device may be better than having a bigger one. In everyday usage, I can tell you that there's not so much difference in using the bigger HTC Butterfly S in regard of the a little bit smaller HTC One. So let's give a look now to the interior side of these devices, and let's talk about the hardware. We have here the HTC One. We have a quad-core Snapdragon 600 CPU clocked at 1.7 GHz, while into the HTC Butterfly S we have the same Snapdragon 600 architecture, but the CPU is slightly faster. It's a little bit higher clock. We have here 1.9 quad-core CPU against 1.7 quad-core CPU. We have the same amount of RAM here, 2 GB DDR2 for both the HTC One and the HTC Butterfly S. We have on both devices the Adreno 320, but here we have 32 GB of non-expandable internal storage, while here we have a big plus. Yes, we have just 16 GB of internal storage, but we can expand the internal storage via this micro SD card slot, which is, to me at least, a very good plus. So we have, of course, as you may see, another big difference, which is the display size. 4.7 inches here into the HTC One and 5 inches into the HTC Butterfly S. Please don't mind the slightly different brightness of these two devices. This one was kindly borrowed by my lady, Miss TechnoLost. So we have here a film into display, so that's why it's a little bit not as bright as the Butterfly S, but trust me, without the film they have the same exactly brightness, and they have the same exactness color reproduction. Very good display. We both have LCD3 technology into these two displays. Here we have Gorilla Glass 2, here we have Gorilla Glass 3 technology. As you may see from the fact that the side of this device is a little bit slightly curved, as you may see, while the HTC One is completely straight. This is one of the plus of the Gorilla Glass 3 technology, because we have, as you may see here, is completely straight, while we have a slightly curved design here, because the Gorilla Glass 3 allow even to have curved design. So these are the main differences for what concern the display. Just to give you an idea, here we have 5 inches, here 4.7. In everyday usage, it all depends on your preferences. Just let me put these two devices aside, just to give you a better idea of the size of these two devices and the difference between 4.7 inches and 5 inches. So if we start the same side on both devices, for instance, here I'm using the desktop view. Okay, they are starting. Okay, here we can use the desktop view too. Just 1 second. Okay, this side is loading. This is the difference between 4.7 inches and 5 inches. Here we go. That's the difference. It's not that big, but to me it's just a matter of size. The more the big is the display, the more I'm happy. I would love to carry around my 55 inches TV. It would be such a pleasure to browse with a huge screen. But apart from this joke, it all depends on what you like. If more portability with a smaller display, or higher display state and better usability, but less portability, 45 inches. Then we have another things which is different regarding the main camera. Here we have, for both devices, ultra pixel technology. We have the 4 megapixel backside illuminated sensor for both devices, but here into the HTC One we even have optical image stabilizer, which is missing into the Butterfly S. The optical image stabilizer can make the difference in some particular situations, especially while recording video on the move. The optical image stabilizer is a very nice things to have. Then we have, of course, the difference in terms of battery. The HTC One has 2300 mAh, while the HTC Butterfly S have 3200 200 milliampere hours. You know, the difference of size for what concerns the battery is reflected even in the, you know, how these devices differ for what concerns thickness. The HTC One is a little, about a millimeter thinner than the HTC Butterfly S, but difference in terms of battery size is huge. We have almost 1,000 milliampere hours more into the HTC Butterfly S than into the HTC One. What does this mean? Well, the HTC One can carry you, you know, all day long, up to a whole day, while the Butterfly S can take you for a whole 2 days. This is quite a big difference to me. So make your consideration about size, weight, whatever you want, but battery to me it's really important. So if we think about the difference in terms of hardware, we have 200 megahertz more into the HTC Butterfly S than into the HTC One, which means that not that much difference in terms of performances. Just let me show you. Here we have the result for quadrant. We have 12,281 for the HTC One, while we have 13,031 for the Butterfly S. So as you can see, we have slightly less than 1,000 point of difference into, you know, quadrant. While if we give a look to Antutu, these are the result, almost 26,000 for the HTC One and slightly more than 27,000 for the Butterfly S. I mean, to be honest, the Butterfly S usually score around 28,000. Don't know why tonight didn't want to go more than 27,454. But you know, anyway, this doesn't make that much difference in any case. So we have slightly more performance into the HTC Butterfly S. Another thing that I want to talk to you about is the fact that, of course, we don't have any kind of difference for what concerns software and UI. For both devices, we have nowadays version 4.2.2 of Android Jelly Bean. I mean, maybe in a few days, this Butterfly HTC One should, you know, even get 4.3. But I guess that the Butterfly S won't take that much to have the same kind of Jelly Bean version. Nevertheless, we have 4.2.2 right now here. We have Sense 5 for both devices. This is exactly the same software for both devices, so no difference in terms of software, and in terms of speed for what concerns software, they are blazing fast, both the HTC One and the Butterfly S. Sorry, a very small difference in terms of software is dealing with the multitasking dedicated button, which is you know, a mixed bag between software and hardware. Of course, we have to double tap here to get into the recent apps menu, while we have finally a dedicated button for the recently opened app into the HTC Butterfly S. So we thought about all the difference. So we have you know, the last things is difference in terms of size for what concerns the display. They both have wonderful display for what concerns brightness and color reproduction. I cannot appreciate any kind of difference between these two devices in terms of brightness and, you know, direct sunlight visibility or color reproduction. Very good, both of them. Of course, the difference is just in terms of size. So as I told you, the HTC One has the 4.7 inches display, while the HTC Butterfly S has 5 inches display. So it's up to you to judge the difference in terms of usability between a larger and a bigger display or a little bit smaller display. So we saw more or less all the differences between these two devices, so we can now draw a line and see the pro and cons of both devices. Let's start with the pro for the Butterfly S. It's slightly faster, much bigger battery. We have 3,200 milliampere hours. Very good battery, can take you through 2 whole days. We have, this is another major plus to me, the possibility to expand the internal storage. And of course we have even a bigger screen, because this one is 5 inches. While on the HTC One we have smaller screen, smaller size, smaller battery, which means better, of course, portability. And this for some of you may be, of course, a big plus, although there's not that much difference, especially in terms of weight. While in terms of size we have almost a little bit more than 7mm taller, which is not a negligible difference. Then we have, of course, the fact that the HTC One is using much better materials, because here we have aluminum, and it's such a premium material and a premium feeling. Of course, if you do use a cover, you won't get any kind of difference between aluminum and polycarbonate. We have the optical image stabilizer into the HTC One, which sometimes in some situation when you're recording video on the move may be a big plus. Another small things that I want to talk to you about is about the position of the power button here. The one of the Butterfly S, it's really uncomfortable, let me tell you, because this device is taller, as you may see. So having the the power button in the middle is not that easy to press, and on the other side it makes it much more easier to press while you keep it in your pocket. For instance, if you keep it downside like this, just putting down may press the power button and turn on the display, and maybe even unlocking it while you're walking or something like this. I would rather have a power button like the HTC One on the side, which is to me much better. So these are more or less all the differences between these two great devices. Now it's up to you to judge whether you rather have bigger display, bigger battery, expandable internal storage, losing premium materials, and a little bit in portability. Well, to me, the Butterfly S makes the difference, and this is the device I choose. Now it's up to you. So for what concerns this dedicated focus on the HTC One and the Butterfly S, that's all. Once more, thanks for watching, and bye from TechnoLost.